Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Tiffany Talks. Okay, the lighting is a little bit off. I just popped on the live. Hold on one second, you guys. Hold on. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so I'm so excited to do this week's episode. First of all, let's do some housekeeping, you guys. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany Ross, and this is a conversation. This show is a conversation, and the conversation is to help everyday people have extraordinary lives. That's why I go live. I'm also known as the Stream Queen because I'm always going live, right? And I go live so that I can have connection with you guys, so that we can discuss the things that are important to us in our lives, so that we can be on this journey, this thing called life together, and living it at the highest level possible. So today's episode will teach you the 3 things that you must know about weight loss. Now, everybody, let me tell you, this is like a billion-dollar industry, right? Everybody is talking about weight loss. So much money is being made on just triggers like use this to lose weight, or you'll be able to lose this weight if you do this and do this to lose weight. Well, the first thing I want to say is that all weight loss is not created equal. And what I mean by that is like the term weight loss has this sort of umbrella approach to whether you're doing the right thing or not. Do you guys know what I mean? Like if you lose weight and that's your goal, then you must be doing something right, right? But that's not true, you guys, because there are so many different ways that you can lose weight. Some of them work for you and some of them do not. Okay, so I want to get into a little story. Remember when I had COVID? I think I had COVID for 2 days. I was very fortunate. And I was in the bed and I remember just laying there like thinking and not really wanting to do anything. And I was in the bed for about 40 hours or something like that. And I didn't eat much. I didn't drink much. And then when I got up and I got on the scale, I had lost 6 pounds. Like, who loses 6 pounds in that amount of time? Now you might think, yay, I lost 6 pounds. But was that a healthy weight loss? And usually, quick weight loss like that has to do with illness, dehydration, malnutrition, things like that. So yeah, you can stop eating for a couple of days. You can not drink any water. You can go in the sauna and sit there for like 25 hours. You know, some people get in the sauna and they sweat it all out. But that version of weight loss will not support you long term. So some people are so turned on just by the idea of getting on the scale and seeing that number go down that they overlook the true meaning of weight loss. So number 1, all weight loss is not created equally. And the ones that I want you to watch out for are dehydration and malnutrition. And malnutrition comes from like when you are not eating for extended period of time. And yes, your body will lose weight, but a lot of that weight is being taken away. The energy has been taken away from your internal organ function, right? Your internal organ function. You don't want that. That's not what you really want because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You guys hearing me? So think about what kind of weight loss that you want to achieve and the amount of time that it actually takes to create that. Okay. Number 2, something that you guys must know about weight loss because so many people talk about this. They go, well, you know, doesn't muscle weigh more than fat? So like if I'm gaining weight and I'm working out, then it must be muscle. Okay, you guys. So it is absolutely true, right? That studies have shown, you know, and that muscle weighs 2.5 times more than fat. So it takes up less mass, but it's more dense. So what that means is like, say this is 5 pounds of fat at this size, but it's lighter, right? The fat is lighter and it takes up more space, right? So you can have this much extra fat on your stomach. So just imagine like in your stomach and you have like that little pooch, right? And it's kind of soft. That's 5 pounds of fat. Whereas if you shrink that down like two and a half size, it comes more like this. This is 5 pounds of muscle. So the 5 pounds of muscle will be more dense. It's more pressed together and the fibers are entangled like this. And but this and this could weigh the same. Now, here's where people kind of get into trouble though, because they think anytime, just because they're working out and there's a little bit of weight gain, they go, ooh, it must be muscle, right? Well, it takes a lot of time to build muscle. Like, it is not that easy. It actually takes months of training to build like a pound of muscle. It's not that easy, you guys. And so if you are training regularly, and say, you know, you're doing like your regular aerobics or body sculpting and you're not intentionally creating muscle, then you need to pay it. Your weight loss will be a better indication that you're losing fat, right? Than if you're gaining weight saying that you're losing muscle. So what I mean by that is, like, if you start working out and you gain some weight, you can't go like, and it's been like, you know, a couple of weeks, you go, oh, it must be muscle. Not really, okay? Not really, because it takes a long time. You get to take a look at your diet and what you're consuming, right? Because your body will release excess weight when it has a deficit of calories, which I'll get into. So what I want to say is that when you are working out regularly, doing aerobics, sculpting, spinning, that type of thing, don't use the "it must be muscle" excuse. Right? Don't use that, because it's not true. Over a year's time, over 6 months' time, then you will be able to tell that you've gotten more lean body tissue, more muscle, by the way that you look, right? Or you can get on one of those scales that tells you about the percentage of fat that you have in your body, and it tells you sort of monitors your fat intake, and it monitors your weight loss at the same time. That's a better indication of that. And the story I have to tell about that is, I remember this was about, I used to always be like a slave to the scale, right? I would get on the scale every morning because I knew I was working out as much as I was working out. Like, I was teaching, I was training, I was at the height of my fitness. My food would vary a little, right? So whenever I didn't eat well, you know, I would get on the scale to check it. And I kind of use that as a gauge. So what I want to say is, if you are pretty close to your goal weight and your habits are working out or consistent, then that weight loss is going to be accurate or weight gain. If you lose weight and you're kind of on your same thing, and then you change your diet and you notice it go down, that's going to be accurate, right? That's an accurate indication that you're losing fat if you change something in your diet and your exercise is consistent. Okay, so for me, my exercise was consistent, my diet was like this, so I was checking the scale. So one day I got on the scale, and you know, it was, I don't know what it was, but it was like, you know, it was like 150, and then I moved it over and it was 152, and I moved it another place, it was like 148. I'm like, what is this? I'm not going to be a slave to the scale. And I turned my scale in, and I said, I'm like, this is not working for me. And a lot of people don't even use scales, right? This is not working for me. I'm not going to use this anymore. But what happened, like, over the years, like when I abandoned my scale, I actually gained unwanted weight because I didn't have that sort of mental check. Like, I used that scale to gauge my food intake and how it was showing up on the scale, because sometimes it takes like a week or two delay. So if you are saying that you want to lose weight and you're working out at the same time, and you want to attribute your inability to lose weight to muscle gain, I'm going to tell you that more than likely that's not the case, right? More than likely your weight loss success or lack thereof is directly tied to your diet or what you're eating. I don't like to use the word diet. First of all, it has the word die in there, right? You don't want to die, right? Live it. We should call it a live it, you guys. How do you want to live it, right? To lose weight. So you're live it. It's a lifestyle. So if you're not getting the results you want, that's what you get to really look at, because that's going to show you faster, like it's going to be a faster feedback on whether what you're doing is working or not working than waiting for your body to build muscle, right? You guys feel me on that? Now, there is something that's true. As we age, there is a natural deterioration or atrophy of muscle. And so, like, as you get older, you might look bigger and weigh less, right? So you're looking bigger and weighing less, and like, that doesn't feel so good. So, depending on your level of muscle tone, that's when it really makes a difference on the scale. So your weight loss might show up as less, but your body mass may show up as more. Go figure, right? So it's important to know this, that, not all weight loss, like I said, is created equal. So say your goal is to lose weight, right? And you start working out. If your goal is to lose weight and then you get on a healthy eating plan and you start exercising, the type of exercise that you do will also have an impact on the rate at which that you lose weight. For example, if you are going straight into weight training and you're not doing any cardio, right, you will not see a lot of weight loss right away, right? Because it'll take a couple of months for your body to increase its lean body tissue. And when you get more muscle, your metabolism goes up because your body needs more energy to move muscle around than it does to move fat around. So when your metabolism goes up, then your body starts burning fuel at a more efficient rate than it does when your metabolism is slower. So if you're weight training, you will notice, if your goal is weight loss, it will happen slower, right? If you're doing cardio and sort of sculpting, right, you will notice if you change your diet and your livit, right? If you change your livit and you start eating less calories than you're burning off, then you will notice a quicker result on the scale. But after some time, that will taper off as well, right? So that moves into number 3, something that you must know about weight loss. Your body's number one goal, you guys, number 3, is to maintain something called homeostasis, right? And that's a constant state of balance. So your body likes to be where it is, right? It likes to be where it is because that's a comfort zone. And we all know that we're on that comfortable sofa, like you don't even want to get up. You'll tell somebody else, bring me the remote, right? You don't even want to get up, to get something that's just right in front of you. So when your body's in that comfort zone, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the perfect place to be. It just means that it's accustomed to being in that spot, right? So what you want to do, if you want to lose weight and work against that comfort zone, that constant state of balance, you need to create a disruption in the body. So you got to get uncomfortable, right? And so what that means is that you have a certain amount of calories, and the amount of calories that your body requires on a daily basis differs for each person. It differs depending on how much muscle mass you have. It differs depending on how much activity you do each day. It differs depending on your age, right? So like young people burn way more calories than old people because they're growing and their cells are constantly dividing. As you get older, people tend to get more sedentary. They have less energy expenditure, so they actually need less calories, right? If you have a sedentary lifestyle, you need less calories on a regular basis than you do. So if you're sedentary all day and you work out, right, versus somebody else who's active all day and they do that same workout, right, you guys are going to get different results. You'll get different results. So it depends on what your lifestyle is and what your body type is, how many calories that you need per day, right? So I would say generally, like if you are on a 2,000 calorie diet, right? You're on a 2,000 calorie diet. They call that like the average, right? 2,000 calorie, which is different for every person. So you want to make sure that if you want to get a healthy weight loss, right, that you eat a little bit less than 2,000 calories each day, okay? So if 2,000 calories is your base, and you take it down to 800 calories or 700 calories, that means you have a deficit of, let's say, 300 calories, right? Now, 3 times 7 is 35, right? Is that right? All right, so is that right, you guys? 3 times 7 is 21. I can't believe it. Okay, say 7 14 is 21. Okay, so I was looking for a number closer to 35. So let's say you jump towards a 500 calorie deficit, right? That's going to be better for the math for you guys to understand it. Okay, so you have your basis is 2,000 calories. Let's just assume it. That's not for everybody. And say you cut down 500 calories a day. which can be for some people going to Starbucks and getting a sugary drink, right? And taking down like 2 pieces of bread, right? That can take down 500 calories just like that, right? That's how easy it can be, you guys. Or if you drink soda, like some people are drinking soda all day, 3 sodas, like 500 calories you can take down right away, right? So 500 calories out of the day, 5 times 7 is 35, right? So now you have, it takes, in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you have to burn 3,600 calories, right? So if you take around 500 calories off of each day, then that leaves you after 7 days at a deficit of 3,500, which is close enough to 36, then you lose a pound of fat. Woohoo! Right? So that's exciting because that means this 3,600 calories are, when you burn that, that's equivalent to a pound of fat. Now listen up. You take it down and then you work out every day, right? So what if you work out every day? You work out every day, so in addition to reducing what you eat, you're working out, and say during that workout, you burn 400 or 500 calories, right? So now you double that and you're at about 7,000 calories under because you burned off extra from the workout and you ate less, right? Then 7,000 calories is equivalent to 2 pounds of fat, right? Whoa, okay. So because that actually requires your body to get outside of its comfort zone, that's what people recommend, about 2-pound weight loss per week in order to be sustainable, right? Now I saw somebody asking like, how many calories do we need, right? I would say average, right? An average person at like 135, and again, it's different, okay? Say you weigh 135 pounds, then your calories are probably going to be like 1,350 or something like that. Depending on the level of muscle that you have, you're like 120, you might be at around the 1,250 range of calories. If you are at 200 pounds, you might be somewhere at the 2,200 calorie range, 2,300 calorie range, something like that, in order to maintain that weight. But if you want to be, say you're 200 pounds and you're eating 2,200 calories a day and you want to weigh 135, then you get to eat the calories that go with a 135 body, right? So you can't eat like if you're eating 2,200 calories to maintain your weight, but you really want to be this weight, then your goal is to eat the amount of calories that go with this weight. It's like matching together, right? So if you want to weigh this much, eat the calories that go with that, right? So anywhere between, like for women generally, you guys, it's like between 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day, right? And that depends on, again, like your level of fitness. It depends on how much muscle you have, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can figure that out. That's another show, okay? But so here it is. Number 1, all weight loss is not created equal. So some weight loss that you have is due to dehydration or illness or severe calorie deficit, which is not good for your body. Number 2, muscle versus fat, right? You get to understand the difference, how long it takes to build muscle, which can be a couple of months, right? So don't equate your weight gain to muscle. If you're trying to lose weight, like, oh, I didn't lose any weight, I gained muscle. Like people, I hear that all the time. It's like, no, something is going on in your diet, right? You get to adjust your diet, because unless you're like consciously building muscle, right, you will lose the fat easier than you will gain the muscle. So it is a lot easier to lose fat than it is to build muscle. You guys hear me? It's easier to lose fat than it is to build muscle, right? And that takes me to number 3. Number 3 is calories in versus calorie out. Calories out creates weight loss. So in order for your body to maintain homeostasis where it is, and it does it wherever it is, you could be 300 pounds, right? Your body will want to stay at 300 pounds because that's your set point, right? That's another thing I want to tell you. If 300 pounds is your weight, that's your set point, then your body has been used to eating enough calories to maintain that set point. It's in its comfort zone. It doesn't want to. Like as soon as you do something, it wants to bring you back to that 300 pounds, right? So you have to be constant, consistent, and committed to getting a new set point. And that creates time. So like if you're 200 pounds, and you want to be 150, your body will constantly try and get you to that 200 pounds. You have to get uncomfortable, right? So if you're normally having 2,200 calories, you got to get uncomfortable, break that down to about 1,700 calories in order to see that drop. And it's uncomfortable. You're going to be hungry. You might be irritable because your body doesn't want to get out of that comfort zone. But when you do that for long enough, when you do that for long enough, then your body will get a new set point, right? And then it'll maintain that balance for you at that set point. So whenever you guys want to lose weight, just know that there is going to be a point where you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. And so the different strategies to lose weight, oh my goodness, there are many different strategies. And it depends on your personality type, I believe, because some people like to eat every 2 hours, small meals every 2 hours. So if you eat, say, 5 times a day, and you eat 300 calories each meal, or each time you eat, that's 1,500 calories, right? And so people like to do that because they like to eat regularly, right? They like to eat regularly, so they spread it out and it balances out your blood sugar, right? But there's some people who don't like to eat 5 times a day, right? They just don't want to eat 5 times a day. Maybe they eat twice a day. So they eat a little bit more during those meals, but then they don't snack throughout the day. That works too, you guys. That works too. So you got to understand your personality. Like for me, I don't like to eat 5 times a day. Because if I'm eating 5 times a day, like there's a higher chance that I'm going to go over that 300 calories and gain weight, right? So I like to eat like 2 times a day and eat a little bit more on my lunch meal. Maybe I like a big lunch and a smaller dinner and like a little snack or something like that. That works for me because I like that feeling and that one meal of like getting what I want, and then I spread out the other 2 smaller meals or 1 meal and a snack throughout the day. That works for me. So, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, you guys. Oh, that's so terrible, skin a cat. Who would want to say that? Why do we say stuff like that? Okay, I'm sorry, kitty cat. Luca was like, what did you just say? There's a lot of different ways that you can reach your goal, right? So if this conversation was helpful to you, let me know. If you have any questions, type it in the chat. All right, so so Ty says her lunch is the biggest meal. Yeah, I really like my lunch to be the biggest meal too. And what I really noticed, you guys, like the intermittent fasting really works for me because you want to have a period of time where your body is not always taking in food, and it can actually work on burning the stored fuel that you already have. So when you get your body in the habit to burning stored fuel, it burns more fat. I'm glad you understand more, Wendy. Where was your breakthrough? What really landed with you? What did you really understand, so I can make sure that I go over it again? Okay. Anybody else? Any questions or comments? Type them in the chat, because a lot of times it's so confusing about what it requires to lose weight. But and then when you get on the scale and you lose weight, how many hours should you eat before you lie down? Calories in, calories out. Okay, good. Okay, how many hours should you eat before you lie down? Well, you think about this. After you eat the food, right, it takes a couple of hours to digest that food. And so you want the food to be digested, not stored. So if you eat and lie down, then you're not really needing any extra calories to digest that food. For example, say you have a heavy dinner and you go to bed, and any calories that your body doesn't need for energy, because your body has calories for energy, like to get you walking around, doing things, working out or whatever, right? And you go to bed, and all of those unused calories, because you went straight to bed, they get stored as fat. So fat is like the bank for unused calories, right? So they get put in the bank of unused calories called stored fat. So like when you eat right before bed, because you're not very active, because you're not using extra calories, that is not a good combination. if you want to lose weight, because all it creates is more stored fat that you got to try and burn the next day. But guess what? You wake up the next day and you eat again. So that stored fat is still sitting there. Your body doesn't use it because your body gets to get in fat burning mode before it'll even go backwards. It's going to say, you know what? She's going to wake up in the morning. She's going to give me some more food. So I don't even need to worry about that stored fat. That'll just stay there. And that's like the number one reason people gain weight. Late night eating, you guys. It is not your friend. It is not your friend. And so you want to make sure, actually timing does make a difference. And I think I did a show about this. Like if you cut off your eating time during that intermittent fasting, it makes a huge difference, because then when you're sleeping, if your body needs fuel for muscle repair or just to keep your heart pumping or your liver working and cleansing your body, then it uses your fat for fuel. Right? So you want to use the fuel that's already there when you're sleeping. You don't want to use the fuel that you just ate, right? So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Ty says she eats from 12 to 7, intermittent fasting. I think that it's really good. And I remember a long time ago, people used to say, no, breakfast is the biggest meal of the day. There's a lot of different ways to arrive at the goal of weight loss. And you just get to understand of whether this is I look like I don't have any clothes on. Whether this is a healthy weight loss for you guys. Look at my new Raw Star. Ooh, if you guys go to www.trfc.club. No, that's not the one. FFFshop.club. 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 You can get your Raw Star necklace too. Oh, I just love my necklace. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this episode, you found it informative, please share it with a friend and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, because that's how we get this information out there. That's how we help other people in this world live happier, healthier lives. And that's how we get to grow as a channel and as a family. All right, love you guys so much. Thanks, Cheryl. Bye, Wendy. I love you guys. Bye.